for their new member of parliament. A couple of candidates are in that race, 10 of them. But today we are at the Electoral Commission, and of course we are we are having a conversation that is mainly about the pre-poll event. We are looking at how is the roadmap tomorrow as Kawempe North goes to the polls, the 13th of this particular month. So Kawempe North is already gearing up for these particular elections, and we're here to just paint a picture for you people as we wait to hear from the Electoral Commission boss, that is Justice Simon Biabakama, who's going to be joining us very, very soon. But before he does that, I have a journalist, and of course he's a switcher, whatever that means. He can explain that to you. Joshua Mwesigwa, you're most welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
How is Switch linked to what is happening today in the electoral process of Uganda as they head for the Kawempe North electoral process?
So Switch Africa is a social newsroom and a social platform that represents young people. It airs out. It's a social newsroom that airs out stories for young people. It's a platform that gives room for young people to tell their stories. And I think it's link when you talk about the link between elections and Switch Africa. Switch Africa, since we are youth-centered and social, we want to understand what is the relationship between young people and the coming elections. So are we represented?
Yes.
Are we is there room for us? Because recently we were seeing the relationship between the security candidates and young people. Looks like they don't want to catch an eye to an eye. So we just want to understand, how are we involved in this whole process?
Exactly, because the youth are the biggest number and the biggest voters and the electorate as we speak. So what is their voice? We also need to hear from them, and that's really, really powerful. As we are speaking right now, Joshua, the event is starting. There is a pre-poll event, as I told you, right here at Makerere University, where the Electoral Commission, with all the stakeholders involved for the Kawempe North elections, are already at. So we are listening in from the Electoral Commission in terms of the guidelines, what is going to be happening in Kawempe tomorrow as they go to the polls. There are agents here. We've seen security personnel. They're already here. Different people from different security organizations. I've seen Uganda Police Force is represented. The Uganda PDF is represented. Counterterrorism. All the security arms have been represented in this particular event. We shall be corresponding or going there. But before, lastly, Mwesigwa, Joshua, what do we expect after this particular engagement? Because they're going to be speaking to journalists about what they should expect in Kawempe North. After that particular event, is there something that is going to be happening? Are there some questions that you want to ask, or what is next?
Yeah, I have some questions, but they'll go directly to the people who will be speaking.
Yes.
I want to find out from the heads of security why young people more of a target when it comes to elections, when it comes to seasons of in the season of campaign. Why are young people more of the victims?
Exactly.
When you look at the people who were arrested in the previous situation that was going on in Kawempe, you realize that it was many of the young people actually appeared in court. They were arrested for being a nuisance in society. So there's
someone who has been beaten, a young man today as we speak. So it's very pertinent, but continue, sir.
Yes, we want to know as young people, because we contribute 70% to this country and to the election. I also want to find out from the people who are heading Electoral Commission, what does this election mean for young people? How can we have them get more involved?
Exactly.
Because at the beginning of the year, the Electoral Commission was going through a process of registration of candidates again. Of voters.
Voters register.
We want to know, is there a youth turn up this time around, or we shall go register and then not show up on the day of elections?
All right. Thank you. I also seek to find out how technology is going to be inculcated in Kawempe North elections personally, because there are these voting machines that we always use, but many times they have been found to be faulty. So how do we really do that? And of course also the electoral malpractice, because let me tell you, this is something that is very, very pertinent. We always have cases of pre-ticked ballots. We have people who sell their votes and things like that. So let me connect to the main event that is happening right here in Makerere. Remember, we're streaming live from the MCI mobile studio. We are bringing the debate on the wheels to you, having a conversations with Ugandans and finding them at places where they are. That's why this particular innovation is here. So we drove from wherever we were to Makerere here to listen in from the Electoral Commission. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. I am with Joshua Mwesigwa. Let's connect to the main event that is happening in Makerere University. Let's go.
Muchunguzi. I'm the head of public relations at the Electoral Commission, and I'm the spokesperson of the Electoral Commission. The chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Justice Byabakama Mugenyi Simon, members of the commission, in particular the commissioner responsible for this area where we are, Commissioner Dr. Simba Kayunga Sali, the acting secretary of the commission, candidates, and your agents, the very reason why we are here. The returning officer for this by-election, Mr. Henry Makabai, who is the returning officer for Kampala electoral area, this Kampala district, members of management of the Electoral Commission and members of staff of the commission, representatives and security agencies who are here in this room, observers, members from the diplomatic corps, the leadership, the local leadership of Kawempe and Kampala, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome to this pre-polling meeting where the commission and the candidates and their representatives and all the key stakeholders in this electoral process are going to share some updates and information about the polling day that falls tomorrow. I do not want to take any more time. The program is meant to be focused and brief, and at this moment I would like to invite the returning officer, Mr. Henry Makabai. Please put your hands together. This is the man, the returning officer for this by-election, to welcome us to this party and tell us what to expect. Thank you.
Good afternoon to you all. You're most welcome to this pre-polling meeting. Like is mentioned, my name is Henry Makabai, the returning officer for the by-election we're holding tomorrow. The chairperson of the Electoral Commission, commissioners, members of the diplomatic corps, government officials, security officers here present, candidates, representatives of candidates, staff of the Electoral Commission, members of political parties and organizations present here, service providers, ladies and gentlemen, you are most welcome to this pre-polling meeting where we are to point out to you the level of readiness for the by-election that we are holding tomorrow, that starts at 7 a.m. and closes at 4 p.m. tomorrow. I would like to say that we are close to the end of the roadmap that was rolled out by the Electoral Commission on the 27th of January. We handled an update of the register exercise. We displayed that register for people to raise objections to the contents. We've had training of polling officials that ended today. So we are ready for polling, and I'm saying we are ready because at about midday today, I witnessed the closing of the boxes that contain our ballot papers. This was done at about midday today at our warehouse, and those boxes are ready for dispatch to the polling stations very early in the morning, so that by 7 o'clock all materials should be reaching the polling stations. My interaction with security indicates that they are very ready for the exercise. They guarantee the security of those who will be turning up to the polls. I take this opportunity to urge all members of Kawempe South, the voters, to turn up without fear, to express their Kawempe North, Kawempe Division North constituency, and also, to be specific, there is a by-election also for the council of Kazoa Angola A, which is still within the constituency. I urge them to turn up in big numbers, not to fear any intimidation, because we have been assured that there will be security of persons and property in the course of the day. May I emphasize that, one, for those who will be manning the polling stations, we have biometric verifications, which should be a must for every voter that will be going through the polling stations. And for those who will be retrieving the results, I expect 2 envelopes at my desk as returning officer. The first envelope bearing the results, a declaration of results form. The second envelope should also have a declaration of results form, an official report book, and accountability of ballot papers. With those remarks, ladies and gentlemen, let me emphasize that we are ready for tomorrow's by-election, and let us go through it peacefully. Let us all be law-abiding, and being law-abiding, I'm making reference to the electoral officers, I'm making reference to the law enforcement. They are also bound by the law, and I'm making reference to the politicians and their supporters. Let us be law-abiding to have a smooth election tomorrow. Thank you very much. I wish you a successful and peaceful election tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Mr. Henry Makabai, the returning officer. I now would like to invite the regional election officer for Kampala. For the information of the audience, the Electoral Commission mapped the country into 12 electoral regions, and we have the region of Kampala. Mr. Tolbert Musenguzi, please. This is the regional election officer for Kampala and the surroundings. He'll tell you what the surroundings refer to.
Thank you so much. PRO, Chairperson, Commissioners, Secretary, and all our stakeholders today. Allow me, Chairperson, report to the stakeholders that we are ready for tomorrow, as the RO has said. We have all the ballot boxes for the 197 polling stations. They have been sealed in the presence of the candidates and their agents. We have issued to the candidates and their agents who are at the parking a file. And in the file, there is a parking list containing seals that have been placed on the black ballot box. Also in the file is a parking list showing the serial numbers of all the ballot papers that have been sent to all the 197 polling stations. Also in that file, Lord Chair, is a parking list showing the serial numbers of the 2 envelopes that the returning officer was talking about. One that will contain the results, and another that will contain a copy of an DR form, ABP, ORB, and the BVVK EC form. Lord Chair, members, we are stationed at the Electoral Commission Stores Banda. That is where the loading of the ballot boxes and all polling materials will be, and this will start at exactly 3 a.m. At exactly 3 a.m., Lord Chair, we are going to start loading the ballot boxes on the vehicles. We have allocated each 3 polling stations a vehicle with a supervisor of Electoral Commission. Supervisors within a second, can you stand up for recognition? Supervisors who are going to be in the field, the Electoral Commission, supervisors. Lord Chair, those are going to be in the field tomorrow. They will be identifiable by our corporate wear and our IDs. So loading starts at 3 a.m. and each vehicle will be secured by an armed policeman. Police has confirmed to us. Then dispatch to the 197 polling stations will start at exactly 5 a.m. 5 a.m. all vehicles will be setting off to go to all the 197 polling stations. These teams will remain in the field monitoring the exercise, and they will be with us in the evening to deliver the results to the returning officer. That is the brief report I have, Lord Chair, as far as operational preparations are concerned for tomorrow. And once again, I echo the commitment of the Commission that we are ready for tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, the Regional Election Officer, Satobert Musinguzi. I just want to mention that this pre-polling meeting is being streamed live on the various platforms of the Electoral Commission, on online and social media platforms. So those that are out there, you can inform them to follow these proceedings, because this is a by-election of Kawempe, but it is for the country as well. So we are live online. Now I would like to take this opportunity to invite the commissioner responsible for the region, Commissioner Dr. Simba Kayunga Sali.
Lord Chair, I would say protocol observed. Mine is a simple task in the interest of time, because in addition to your speech, we also want to listen to the stakeholders. So we want to give them adequate time to raise issues and concerns. Otherwise, apart from that, as Commissioner in charge of the region, in spite of some challenges we have had in the last few days, I would attest to the reports given by the technical team that we are ready tomorrow to conduct a free, fair, and credible election, the Almighty God willing. So with that, let me take this opportunity to invite you to address the stakeholders who have come to attend the pre-polling meeting. Thank you.
In the interest of time, I will also adopt the protocols that have been observed by the previous speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. It is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to this briefing where the Commission will update you on the final preparations for the by-elections of the Member of Parliament for Kawempe Division North constituency and the seated division directly elected councillor of Kazo Angola A, Kawempe Division, Kampala City. As you are aware, the vacancy for Member of Parliament for the said constituency occurred as a result of the death of the former MP, Honorable Segrinya Muhammad, which occurred on the 9th of January, 2025. And as required by law, the statutory deadline for conducting a parliamentary by-election is 60 days after notification from the clerk to Parliament on the occurrence of the vacancy. In this particular case, the said period will lapse on the 15th of March 2025, which I think will be a Saturday. Accordingly, the Commission has undertaken various activities under the program for the conduct of the said by-election, which include the following. They have been concluded. Update of the National Voters Register, which occurred from 27th January to 31st January at update stations in each of the 9 parishes in Kawempe Division. The display of the National Voters Register in the said constituency was conducted for a period of 10 days. That is from Monday 10th February to Wednesday 19th February 2025 at all the 197 polling stations in Kawempe Division North. Thirdly, the nomination exercise was conducted on the 26th and 27th February 2025 at the Electoral Commission offices for Kawempe Division. And the following candidates were duly nominated to contest for the by-elections, and they will accordingly be on the ballot paper. 1, Engena Maitumo Edward Stanley, who is an independent candidate, and his symbol is the ball. Kasaka Henry Mubiru, flag bearer for the Democratic Party. Luemba Luswa Muhammad, independent. His symbol is the radio. Luimbazi Elias Nalukola, flag bearer for National Unity Platform. Mukibi Sadat, flag bearer for Forum for Democratic Change. Morerwa Hanifa Karadi, independent candidate, her symbol is a clock. Musitwa Ismail, flag bearer for People's Progressive Party. Mutazindwa Muhammad, independent candidate. His symbol is a bicycle. Nambi Farida Kigongo, flag bearer for National Resistance Movement. Sereko Moses, independent candidate, symbol a chair. As mentioned by my officers who have spoken before me, we also have by-elections for the directly elected councillor of Kazo Angola A, Kawempe Division. The nominated candidates are Birimumaiso David Muwanguzi, independent, symbol chair. Mulinda Hussein, independent, symbol radio. Sebunya Sharif, Forum for Democratic Change. Sebugwao Tadeo, Democratic Party. Sebuma Bills Robert, independent, symbol clock. Semata Lawrence Masuti, National Resistance Movement. Setuba Habiba, National Unity Platform. Iga Musobia Ngobia, independent, symbol ball. The campaign meetings for the by-election commenced on Friday 28th February this year and was successfully concluded yesterday, the 12th of March. At the start of the campaigns, there was a violent clash between the supporters of one of the candidates and law enforcement agencies, which was unfortunate and regrettable. The commission, however, immediately engaged the security leadership and the leaders of NUP in order to devise ways of avoiding such occurrences. I'm glad to report that both parties undertook to ensure peaceful conduct of campaign meetings. We therefore wish to commend all the candidates and their supporters for a generally peaceful campaign period. Voting, as mentioned, shall be by universal adult suffrage and shall take place at all the 197 polling stations, Kawempe division, in the case of the directly elected member of parliament. The 8 polling stations in Kazo Angola, however, will each have a second ballot box for the by-election of the city division directly elected councillor of Kazo Angola A zone, as well as the box for the member of parliament. So those 8 polling stations will have 2 ballot boxes. Polling, as required by the law, will begin at 7 a.m. and close at 4 p.m. However, if by the close of 4 p.m., if there are any voters in the queue who have not yet cast their votes, the law permits them to cast their votes. The one who will not be allowed to vote is a voter who turns up after 4 p.m. After polling or voting, the counting of votes and announcing of results by the respective presiding officers shall take place at each polling station. Political parties and the candidates are encouraged to appoint in writing and deploy their agents at each polling station. Please note that other than observing the exercise, the candidate's agents shall not be expected to interfere with the polling process or to assist any voter who cannot vote by him or herself. Your agents are not supposed to assist the persons with some disabilities who cannot vote by themselves. By law, those persons are supposed to come with helpers of their choice. Because we have seen some by-elections where the agents of candidates want to assist those voters. It's not permitted or allowed. We strongly urge voters to turn up early at their respective polling stations so that polling processes can commence in time, that is by 7 a.m. However, I wish to add a rider. Again, according to the law, the polling station can only open or polling can only start after 10 registered voters at that polling station are present. The presiding officer cannot open the kit or that black box which contains all the materials to be used at this polling station unless and until 10 voters at that polling station are present to witness that. That is one of the hallmarks of transparency, I want to believe. The Electoral Commission has completed preparing the National Voters Register for the constituency, which bears the names of all the 199,64 registered voters. 199,064 voters are expected to cast their votes in Kawempe North Division tomorrow. They are segregated as follows. Females, 104,552 voters, representing 52.5%. The women voters are more than the men. Males, 94,512, representing 47.5%. The Commission has issued a copy of of the voters register to participating candidates to enable them, that is the candidates, through their official agents, to ensure that only eligible voters or persons can vote in this by-election at the polling stations where they are registered as voters. The Commission will be dispatching the polling kit or materials to all the said polling stations in Kawempe Division tomorrow, Thursday, 13th of March, 2025, to ensure that polling commences on time. As you heard, I think the returning officer or the regional inviting political parties, candidates, or your agents, come and witness. Come and witness how this loading is taking place. You can even accompany the vehicles to see whether it will branch off somewhere. For us, we are saying all our materials, all our ballot papers are intact. Although I heard, when I was coming here in Oruvuvumo, I heard that some ballot papers were being predicted somewhere. I wish somebody could give us a sample of those ballot papers. We shall outrightly disprove that these are not our ballot papers. Our ballot papers are still intact. They have not been distributed anywhere as yet. However, if you have that evidence, please bring it to our attention. Designated candidates agents are advised to report to the EC warehouse in Banda. Now we have heard by 3 a.m. tomorrow to observe the dispatch of the polling kits to their respective polling stations. We wish to draw the attention of the political parties participating in this by-election to Section 16, subsection 1 and 1A of the Electoral Commission Act, which provides for the accreditation of representatives of political parties, independent candidates, civil society organizations, and any other duly registered institution to observe electoral activities. Indeed, we have received a number of applications or requests for those who want to observe or participate in this process as observers. And I think we have accredited quite a number. Accordingly, please, political parties note, you've been permitted to deploy not more than 5 observers per parish or ward. If you cared to inform the commission, apply to the commission that I'll be deploying 5 observers in this parish or ward in the division tomorrow, and these are their passport photos, these are their names. But if you did not, please don't deploy your observers tomorrow unless they have the official tags of the Electoral Commission. Don't deploy people who are purported to be observers if they have not been accredited by the Commission. The same goes with what do they call this? This is vote protectors. I have searched in the law, electoral laws. There is no concept of a vote protector. It's not there. What is there are agents of candidates. And if polling is taking place at a polling station, and the law permits each candidate to have 2 agents at the polling station, those are your vote protectors. So why do you want to come up with different human beings and say these are my vote protectors? Please, let us try as much as possible to abide by the law. Your 2 agents are your vote protectors. Mind you, you are the one who has identified these agents and appointed them. We don't want to cause unnecessary fracas on polling day with people trying to establish who are you, what is your accreditation, and so on. Let's avoid all that. The accredited observers will be required to limit their activity to the designated areas or parishes or wards. And the police have been notified to enforce this regulation. If you are observer or agent, no, you are observer, so agents are confined to polling stations, correct? Observers are per parish. And the tag is observer in this parish. Now, this observer is not a roving observer. You're in the Kazo Angola zone, then you're in this parish, you're in the other parish, and I'm an observer. I can go anywhere. No, the law says you carry out your observatory role in that particular parish. It's only these, I think, the other local observers who can go anywhere. But for candidates observers, you are confined, you are supposed to operate within a restricted or a given area. Secondly, participating political parties and independent candidates should also have submitted the names of not more than 5 observers who have been accredited for purposes of accessing the tally center and observing the tallying process. You have observers per parish, 5. For the tally center, you are also entitled to appoint 5 observers whom the commission has already accredited, because I cannot say whom the commission will accredit. If you have not appointed any observers for the tally center, we have closed the door now to accrediting observers. It is too late. But candidates, political parties, remember you have 5 slots at the tally center. The commission has provided all those accredited with written clearance, relevant information, and identification to observe the by-election. As for the media, I want you to note, you will only be required to present valid identification of the media organization you belong to in order to access any polling station or the tally center. We don't accredit media people. We don't ask them to identify themselves with the IDs of their media houses. Any individual found to be doing the duties of an observer or agent without due accreditation will be prosecuted in accordance with the law. The Electoral Commission, as is our practice, has established a query or complaints desk here at the tally center to receive and handle any complaints that may arise in any area tomorrow during the by-election. This query desk will be open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Commission therefore encourages each political party or independent candidate to appoint an official agent to sit with the Commission officials at this complaints desk to ease the handling of any query and or complaint that may arise. We have provided toll-free numbers to enhance this process. The first number, which I would like you to note, 0800-300-121. I repeat, 0800-300-121. This is a toll-free number. The second toll-free number, all the digits are the same except the last one, the same as the previous one. The last digit is a 2. It's also toll-free. We also have non-toll-free numbers. You must have some airtime to call this one. 0393 280 498. The other one is 0393 280 488. This is also a non-toll-free number. We have also established a media center at the tally center here to coordinate information and provide updates on issues and the progress of the electoral process. The media center will be managed by officials from the Public Relations Department of the Electoral Commission and a designated officer of the Uganda Police Force. They will be giving periodic briefings on the progress of the electoral process, as well as addressing any emerging issues. As he's already introduced himself, the returning officer for this process is Mr. Henry Makabai. The Electoral Commission has already gazetted, as required by the law, Makerere University School of Public Health, Lower Auditorium, as the elections results study center for this by-election, where we are now. Please note that, save for the candidates, or except for the candidates, access to the tally center will be restricted to only authorized persons who shall have the respective accreditation tags or cards. The candidates are at liberty to approach or to access the tally center tomorrow, because those are the people why we are here. For them, they don't need any accreditation to access the tally center. In conclusion, the Commission wishes to appeal to the political parties, candidates, their agents, supporters, and all stakeholders to conduct themselves in accordance with the law and the guidelines issued by the Electoral Commission for these by-elections. We should all work together to achieve a credible, peaceful exercise. I call once again upon the voters to come out early and freely cast their votes. I would like to assure the people of Kawempe North Division that the Commission, working with the Uganda Police Force, has made adequate preparations to ensure a peaceful and secure electoral environment. I wish to warn all stakeholders in these by-elections that any unlawful conduct will be dealt with in accordance with the law. The Electoral Commission calls upon all stakeholders in this electoral process to participate in the remaining activity tomorrow, which is polling, following or adhering to the law and guidelines issued by the Commission regarding these by-elections. I thank you for listening to me, for God and my country.
Thank you very much, Lord Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, for those words of guidance. Now, according to the program that we have, we are going to take feedback and comments and questions and observations from you. You will raise your hand, you say your names and which institution you represent, and then you will ask or make a comment on any of the issues that have been raised by the speakers. The floor is open. Let me get Richard to move very quickly with the microphone. Richard. Come, I think if you can, please.
Hello, my name is Joshua Mwesigwe from Switch Africa, and my question is quite simple. Why are election seasons and periods becoming a death trap for young people?
Thank you. The lady.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Farida Lule, the Executive Director, Ushahidi Foundation Uganda, and I'm going to observe this election. My question goes to the Commission. I would like guidance in a matter where the candidate brings a DR form and the returning officer is reading the results from a particular polling station, and the candidate is not in agreement with what the returning officer is reading. The candidate asks for attention from the returning officer, and the returning officer declines to give the candidate attention and goes ahead to read and ignores the candidate. What happens, and what does the law say?
Thank you very much. Pass it on to The gentleman there.
My name is Sabina Ellis Grace, an observer at the Talent Center from the Conservative Party. I'm asking a question. At what time are we supposed to report here as observers to the Talent Center tomorrow? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Brief to the point. The gentleman, you can give to him so that...
Thank you. My name is Augustine Ojobide. I'm from the Forum for Democratic Change, and I'm representing Khalifa. Mr. Chair, maybe to begin with the issue of vote protectors. I think unless you will have to clarify, I think the law talks of a minimum of 2. It has never told us maximum. So maybe we need some clarification on that. It talks of minimum 2 people per polling station. So maybe you clarify what the maximum is. Because I think if we had 2 seated in the polling gazetted area, the others can be outside. So maybe you help us understand the maximum. Also, Mr. Chair, just yesterday, I tried to communicate with the Electoral Commission over some of our people who were accredited, and unfortunately they were arrested in Soroti. That is the party president of FDC, Joan Alobo, MP, Soroti City, and Jonathan Ebwaru, MP, Soroti City. The 3 were already on the list for accreditation. And when I communicated with the Electoral Commission, they advised me to write, and then they would be, we would amend the list. Unfortunately, something that has never happened ever since I started maybe cooperating with the Electoral Commission as an electoral official from FDC. As early as 8:30, the tags were already at our office, indicating that whatever I was going to bring for changes was not welcome. Yet I had been told by one of your commissioners that it is okay, please, as early as 8, make sure you come and we make the changes. But by 8:30, the tags had been delivered at our office with the list of individuals that I wanted to amend. So I don't know whether it was a trick to tell me that please don't bring that list to our attention, or something else. Yet other items that we had also expected EC to bring did not come. Like the register, we had to go to Electoral Commission and pick them. The same way we were going to pick the tags, but the tags had to come before us. So maybe that would be the last one. So it means I will be having gaps in my supervisors, because some of them are incarcerated, and I made this known to Electoral Commission earlier. So with no attempt, I couldn't amend when you have already delivered. So maybe you can guide on what I should do.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kamyaka Sozi is the name. I'm from the Democratic Party, and I'm the campaign manager for Kasacha, the DP candidate. My concern goes straight to either there was a miscommunication or something like that, because on the election observers, the 5 parish observers, I tried to reach out to the office of the Electoral Commission, and I met with the regional officer. We had a conversation together, and he informed us that they are not necessary. Actually, he did a quick math. He said that if we could allow 5 members for each candidate, 5 times 9, that would be about 45 people, times 9 parishes, that would be a lot of people within the constituency. So I went back with the names of the 5 members to be accredited for the parish. Now, here we are, the chairman is telling us that if you're not accredited to be into that parish, you will not be allowed. I had already made some tags for my people, but based on what the chairman has said, that means they won't be allowed. However, if it's in the interest of the Electoral Commission for the Democratic Party to have the 5 parish observers, I have them on a soft copy. I don't know if it is a provision or an improvision. You can have them accredited. Otherwise, I don't know who's responsible, either the regional Mr. Tolba, or me or some, I don't know. How are we going to do this? Thank you.
Thank you very much. There is a candidate here, please. Lord Chair. Mr. Narokola.
I thank you for the latitude, my Lord. My name is Luimbaz Elias Nalokola. My Lord, in the first place, allow me to submit that an election is not an event, but rather a process. Wrongdoing in the course of that process may indeed not result into the intended goal. My Lord, we had organized as per our harmonized program before the Electoral Commission to have our final and last rally at Bwaisewanu Parish. That is yesterday. And then in the final hours, we were informed by security organs that we were not allowed to hold our rally at Bwaisewan because Nambi, one of the candidates, had invited General Museveni to address a gathering at Kawempe Wanu Parish, Mbogo Zone. We were advised to go to the other side after crossing Gayaza Road, and indeed we organized to have a rally at Komamboga and campaign within those parishes. However, as we were campaigning, the same security men attacked us, tear gassed us, shot at us. Many of my supporters sustained injuries. My motor vehicle, among other items, were confiscated. And Mr. Chairman, as we talk now, I don't have a motor vehicle. I'm a candidate, but my motor vehicle was confiscated by police. I can't communicate. My phones were taken, my money, even my tools of trade. You know, I'm an advocate and a commissioner for oath. My stamp was taken, my client's agreements which were in the motor vehicle. Can you imagine, Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman, my personal assistant and my supporters were arrested and detained at police. I can't communicate. Mr. Chairman, I could not even call you or any commissioner or even the returning officer because I don't have my phones. Is that acceptable in a free and democratic society? Mr. Chairman, we received information that there is a group of people at Namere who were taking ballot papers before polling. We could not believe that. So we chose to go there and talk in a civil manner to establish whether that is true. And yet in a company of the leader of opposition, Honorable Joel Senyonyi, and the Secretary General of my party, Honorable Lubongoya, we went to Namere. We have learned that it is the house of Major Matovu, a former RDC. We found there a group of people with many motor vehicles. A number of them, their number plates had been covered. They were blocking off others. I'm talking about number plates. When we reached there as visitors, we were not welcomed, Mr. Chairman, but rather we were attacked. And my Secretary General here was hit in the face terribly with a baton. We went with a group of journalists. One sustained great injuries, as Mr. Chibuika Stephen of NTV, and his camera was confiscated. The one of NBS, his phone was confiscated. Many of those guys shot in the air. Mr. Chairman, there is a problem somewhere. There is another camp along Bombo Road. It is led by one Captain Tashobia. I've come to know that he works with ISO. They are determined to do all wrongs, all evils against us. They are looking for our agents. Mr. Chairman, this is not how elections are conducted in a free and democratic society. When we reported the matter to police at Kawempe, no response. We were welcomed by the DPC, but we were there for almost an hour. They are saying, let us record your statements. Let us have this report entered into our books. And nobody is working on us. And we are afraid. We are likely to invite the citizens to take up that duty of protecting their fellow citizens instead of those who are supposed to keep law and order. Mr. Chairman, who is in control? Is it the police? Is it UPDF? Is it JAT? Where should we go? There is a challenge, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I don't have my motor vehicle. I don't have my phones. There is a challenge here. Allow me to invite my Secretary General to conclude my submissions. I thank you for that wonderful audience.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission and all the stakeholders gathered here. I wouldn't say it's a good afternoon in our camp as a National Unity Platform because this has been yet another violent electoral process. And we always have these meetings, pre-polling meetings, every time. Unfortunately, I hope this time this meeting will yield because we had the same meeting in Omoro, we had the same meetings in Soroti, we had the same meetings in Oyam and other places, but we saw the very things we are complaining about today happening in those elections. For example, Mr. Chairman, when we met with you at the Commission, we agreed that we would adhere to the electoral program as approved. Our candidate has not been able to campaign in one parish, in a full parish. simply because yesterday security ordered him not to campaign there. And yet when we met the Electoral Commission, we were given assurance that because we believe that when the candidates were agreeing on their schedule, all candidates factored in who was going to come at what time, and so our candidate hasn't been able to campaign.
Kawempe and vehicles are there right now, some of which have been covered by the media. But like my candidate said here, today we bumped into them doing that. We got information that vehicles were moving into this compound with numbers. They come out without number plates. They go in with the number plates, they come out without number plates. So what is happening? And as we got into that compound, which we thought was actually a public place, because the cars which were there, some of them bore government number plates, and others do not have number plates at all, as you will see on the media, because the journalists who were not battered and whose cameras were not taken, at least were able to capture all that. The question of predict ballot papers, Mr. Chairman, you've always given us assurances. Each time that the Commission protects these ballot papers, that you're the only ones with them, and Mr. Chairman, almost every by-election in this country and the general election, we normally see predict ballot papers. And we've been asking ourselves, where do these ballot papers come from? Number two, what happens to the people who are caught with those ballot papers? So, the fact that the Electoral Commission today is saying, you know, ballot papers are safe, we do not have confidence in that statement, because this is what has always been told to us, only preaching to the field. I am not a prophet, but I can predict that tomorrow you'll see predict ballot papers flying around. Usually in favor of the NRM candidates. And as you know, we've always raised these complaints. People are arrested with them. Somehow the cases die. You don't see anybody prosecuted and all that. So, Mr. Chairman, we are very, very concerned about where we are right now. We are concerned by the information we are getting almost every minute about people gathered somewhere, critiquing ballot papers and all that. Yes, our polling agents will be there, our supervisors will be there. We hope security will not pick them up like they have done in the past. You remember, Mr. Chairman, in Omoro and many other by-elections, security moved in and picked up many of our polling agents off polling stations. And these are complaints we've repeatedly made to the Commission. So we hope this time around that when our polling agents come to the polling stations, they actually will be left to do their work, and that the voice of the people of Kawempe North will be respected. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Balimwezo.
Thank you so much. My name is Balimwezo Ronald Zuba, member of NUP. I wanted to know the extent of the polling station. If I finish voting and I stand 100 meters away from that protected zone, am I wrong? That's what I want to know.
Thank you very much.
And two, what are the roles of the RDCs in this election?
Thank you very much. Pass that microphone to the young man behind you. There's a young man behind you. First give it to him, then to you.
I'm a candidate.
Sorry. Please,
Thank
please,
you so much.
Please, by all means.
My name is Mtazindwa Mahmoud, aspiring MP and independent. Mine is just to supplement on what Honorable Balimwezo was saying. The fraternity, the people will need to know why all the security operatives are inclusive in this by-election. This has brought a lot of fear, intimidation, mostly among the ghetto youth. Yesterday, yes, they are almost 60% have been detained. We have been receiving calls since morning that the ghetto youth, when these security operatives just look at them, they just get them and incarcerate them. So the ladies are in fear, and even the ghetto youth. Those young men in ghettos, they have fear, and they are most likely not to participate in this election. I would like also to bring to your attention. But why don't you let these UPDF, the JAT, go out of this process, and we at least remain with the police? That one we can handle. But these guys of JAT, FUSO, DISO, PISO, they are going to bring a lot of fear in our electorates. Please, kindly, Mr. Chairman, do whatever you can and let these people move out of the process. And lastly is about the register. By now, all candidates should be having the registers. How do you think we are going to move on by receiving the registers this early, this late? Please, you have done no justice to us. Thank you so much.
Lord Chair, with your indulgence, I think you may wish to first take this, and then we can have another round. You may wish to... Chairperson is going to respond to those, and then we'll take another round.
Dear participants, thank you for the questions you have raised. I'll ask my secretary to respond to the issue of the registers, the timeliness of releasing or availing the registers to the candidates. The other issue is what, which I wanted him to respond to. The issue of observers, the issue raised by Mr. Kasozi of DP. The royal told him one thing, now we are saying another thing. What is the correct position? And because of that, they were not able to therefore have the intended observers in those parishes accredited or cleared. What can they do now? Then I will respond to the rest. Okay, acting secretary.
Thank you, Lord Chair. The Commission is required under the law to, within 12 hours to polling, share with the political parties and candidates participating in an election some of the materials that I think the regional officer talked about here. A copy of the polling register. What we share with political parties is a copy of the polling register that is enclosed in the ballot box that goes to the polling station. The serial numbers of seals that have been used to seal the metallic box that transmits polling materials to the polling station, the seals to be used to seal the polling box during polling, and the serial number of the seal that seals the box after polling is concluded. We also share, as required by the law, a copy of the serial numbers of the transparent tamper-evident envelopes that transmit results from the polling station to the returning officer, as well as the one that transmits the official report book and a second copy of the results. We also share with them the serial number of the declaration of results forms that are issued to each polling station. And this one we always do. I'm sure by now the participating political parties and candidates have already received files containing these details. The regional officer did mention here that when we were doing final packing of the kits, it was done in the presence of some of the agents or representatives of political parties and candidates. For avoidance of doubt, my Lord, this activity was done this afternoon at the Commission Warehouse in Banda. Mr. Peter Aiso of NUP was there. Is he here? Do you know him, Lewis? Mr. Peter, he was there. He was physically present and he signed in our register. Mr. Owere Asoka of NRM was there. Alice Katusabe of FDC was there. Tumusime Esau, representing Hajat Hanifa Kaladi, was there. When we packed all these materials, including the ballot papers that are being talked about, maybe I forgot to mention that in that file also, there are serial numbers of all ballot papers that we have sent to each polling station. You have a copy of those ballot papers that we have in our box, which will be at the polling station tomorrow. You already have the serial numbers of those ballot papers. And these people were there when we sealed them. So we have also now been able to transmit to each of these political parties and candidates a copy of the register. This register is supposed to be used at the polling station tomorrow when voters are being verified, so that the political parties and candidates representatives, together with the polling officials, collectively verify voters who come to the polling station and present themselves to vote. This one we have done. On the question of the Democratic Party, these guidelines are in writing and they were issued right from the time, my Lord, you addressed the consultative meeting when the program for this activity was rolled out in Kawempe at is it Tick Hotel? Tick Hotel. Political parties were informed then, and they have continuously been updated that you are, to be accredited to observe different processes in the by-election, you apply for accreditation and you apply to the Electoral Commission. It's unfortunate that the DP, and DP of course is an old party, we have been together in these things. So I don't know why the representative this time decided to look for advice and ended up not submitting where these lists are supposed to be. Now the accreditation process has closed, because it's not just a matter of bringing the name and then you go and you observe. There are processes. These names are presented formally in meetings. We call it the accreditation committee. The accreditation committee discusses the list, and then the list is approved. Upon approval, then we print the tags which have been now issued. I see some of you putting them on. So it's a process. It's not just a one-off issue. So right now, that is where we are, my Lord. I hope I have answered.
Thank you. Now, Honorable, I think this is a candidate, Mohammed. Why all this security clampdown? Why don't you get rid of UPDF, JAD, and leave the police whom you can deal with? First of all, the Electoral Commission is not responsible for the deployment of security in the electoral process. That is the preserve of the Uganda Police Force. Ours is to work with the Uganda Police Force, whose primary role is to maintain law and order, which is a critical requirement in our elections in this country, which have become a do-or-die, cutthroat business or affair. We need security, without a doubt. And in our preparations, in our planning, we inform the Uganda Police Force to be alert, to be aware that we have this exercise. However, according to the Constitution, I think it is Article 212, which spells out the functions of the Uganda Police Force. It says, the functions of the Uganda Police Force shall include the following, among others: to cooperate with the civilian authority and the other security organs established under this Constitution and with the population generally. It is their prerogative to cooperate with other security organs in whatever task they are involved in execution of their mandate. But since members of Uganda Police Force are here, and I see very many senior officers, I think they will answer that one in greater detail, since I don't work with the Uganda Police Force. So the head of security in this by-election from the Uganda Police Force headquarters, or the regional police commander, should be in position to explain that or talk about that in greater detail. But legally, by way of the Constitution permits the Uganda Police Force to work with other security agencies as they go about executing their mandate. I think the question is, how do these people conduct themselves? I think that is at the heart of the matter. They are expected and required to act in accordance with the law. All of us, whether I'm the chairman of the Electoral Commission, or the commissioners, or the staff of the commission, or a minister, or a commander of the army, we are all required to act in accordance with the law. I think that's the principle. Therefore, any officer who acts or oversteps him or herself should be dealt with in accordance with the law, period. Honorable Mwezo, yes, the law permits you to stand about 100 meters from the polling station. One, if you have finished casting your vote. You don't have to hang around the precincts of the polling station because you are crowding it. If you have cast your vote, leave space for other voters who have not yet cast their vote to come and do so. But you can stand about 100 meters away. Provided, and I repeat, provided your presence is not disruptive to the voters who are approaching this polling station. And secondly, provided you are not causing commotion within or around or near the polling station. No commotion, no drinking waragi or beer, it's 100 meters, no playing music, no. You can just humbly be there. You wait for the counting of the votes to come and witness the counting. Because at times we see some people who are rowdy. If I know these voters don't support candidate Balimwezu and they are about to turn, they tend to disrupt them or to intimidate them. That's not allowed. So please, let us respect the rights of other voters to peacefully go to these polling stations and cast their vote just like you have done. Youth in the ghetto being arrested. Well, honestly, I cannot talk about that. Again, maybe the police will have to do that. But what I know as a general matter or fact is that whether we are in an electoral season or activity or not, the observance, maintenance of law and order is a continuous process. This must be observed. Law enforcement agencies must ensure law and order is observed or adhered to. So, if for reasons known to the police, maybe they suspect these people were committing a crime or about to commit a crime, we are not going to say, no, when we are in elections, leave people alone. Even when you find them breaking into houses, leave them alone. But maybe they can talk about that, whether they have reasonable ground that led them to the arrest of these people, if at all. Now, Mr. Luis Rubongoya, on the issue of your candidate not being able to campaign in all the areas yesterday because of the reasons you have given, how I wish you had brought this matter to the Electoral Commission, to the attention of the Electoral Commission. How many of us participated in the Kyadondo East by-elections? Those of us who were there? Kyadondo East? Yes, Farida, you were there? Quite a number. You remember what happened when I think the chairman of NRM, who is the president also, was supposed to go to, I think, a certain area to campaign for their candidate in Kyadondo East. That venue had previously been booked in the harmonization program or activity by, was it FDC candidate or who? Stephen. Yeah, was it in Kunyingi or no? Katinti. Who was the other FDC candidate? Anyway, the issue is the NRM candidate in that by-election wanted to bring his party chairman to this venue. But that venue in the harmonization process was booked by another candidate. And these people deployed SFC, they put up their equipment, secured the area. The matter was brought to the attention of the commission. I remember I was seated in my office at that time. And what we did, consulted with my fellow commissioners, and we told the people that, look, that venue was booked by that candidate. It should remain like that. And indeed, the party, NRM party chairman was, should we say, vacated, or he was told the candidate when Yarem, because for us we don't arrange. The harmonization program is not for the party presidents, party chairpersons. It is for the candidates. So it's the candidate who indicates that, look, my party president or chairman will be coming to lend me support on such a day. Can we please have him on this venue? If you had brought it to our attention, we would have looked at it, but it was not, unfortunately. However, as a matter of principle, the harmonized campaign program can be altered. It's not cast in stone. It can be altered or changed in a minute, provided the parties are in agreement, the candidates. If the candidate X wants to change his or her venue to another venue, which is already booked by candidate Y, they have to agree among themselves that, can you allow me to occupy this venue instead of the other, you. So, but in this case, as I said, this matter was not brought to our attention. We would have handled it. Oh, we handled Kyadondo East in 20, was it 18 or 19? I don't remember. Number plates. We have discussed this matter in various engagements, and I thought this was something of the past. I think Mr. Rongo, I don't know whether he has left. Those of you who are in Dokoro, those of you who are in Kisoro, those of you who are in Wales, Yam South, Serere, and so on. The concept of numberless vehicles had been dealt with. However, I want to urge security, the ones who are in charge. We do not expect as a commission to see numberless vehicles moving around tomorrow. We don't expect those. You very well know that such vehicles moving in that manner are in breach of the law. And secondly, you create something sinister about your presence in the electoral area. If you are up to good or something legal, why should you obscure your number plate? So we thought we had put that behind us, because in subsequent by-elections we have been holding, we have not been having that phenomenon of numberless vehicles. We don't expect to see those. Maybe the police, I want you to note this. I want you also to talk about this. Should we expect numberless vehicles tomorrow again? Who are these people who are above the law, who are moving these vehicles? And the security just waves a white handkerchief at them. Muiteo, muiteo. So should other people also move with the numberless vehicles? Should all of us get rid of our numbers because we're having by-elections, Kawempe, North Division, by-election? Should we do that? I repeat, we don't expect to see such vehicles. And if they are seen, please let them be impounded, because that's the law. Protect ballot papers. You know, we were in which constituency was this? Was this Oyam, Stephen, Commissioner? Oyam North, where some people invaded a polling station deep there in the rural areas, grabbed the ballot papers, critiqued them, and stuffed them. The Wananchi were very annoyed after this group had left, because I understand they were even armed. They smashed the ballot box and tore all these ballot papers. We went there with Commissioner Stephen, were informed what had happened. Two things. The critical thing is the fact that they could only come to the polling station and grab ballot papers which were lawfully or legally deployed at that polling station is an indication they could not get these ballot papers elsewhere. They could not obtain our ballot papers elsewhere apart from grabbing those which were lawfully placed at this polling station. That is one thing. Secondly, these were not staff of EC. It's goons. Thirdly, The polling station was manned by an unarmed constable. Our elections are so democratic that we don't even allow an armed police officer to be in charge of the polling station. No. So the constable was not armed. These people had the arms or a weapon. They came, grabbed the ballot papers, and did what they had to do. This is why we keep emphasizing and repeating that in order for us to have a credible, peaceful, free and fair election, every one of us must play his or her role in accordance with the law. My officers have told you the elaborate measures we have taken to be open and transparent about every process in this election, every planning, everything. We are even giving you the serial numbers of the ballot papers, which are going to be placed at every polling station. We are giving the serial numbers of the seals, which will be placed on these boxes. The commission has done its best. We have invited you to observe or to witness the dispatch of these materials. Tomorrow, as a commission, we do our part. Can you also do your part? Political parties, agents, candidates, supporters of voters, security agencies, do your part. And then you shall have a good election. Now, on the issue of, I don't expect the agents to be picked up. Why? The agents are provided for under the law. In fact, I want to clear the question, was it, I think, Augustine, related to agents. I'm coming, don't worry. Now, according to the parliamentary election, because Augustine was saying that the law talks of at least 2, but does not give a maximum number of agents, just gives a minimum. Section 32, subsection 2, Parliamentary Elections Act says, not more than 2 representatives or polling agents shall be appointed by a candidate. Not more than 2 representatives or polling agents shall be appointed by a candidate. So a candidate is only entitled to 2 polling agents per polling station. However, these agents are provided for under the law. Their presence at a polling station is therefore lawful or legal. We therefore do not expect anyone to place them under arrest because they are there legally. Provided, police agents, if you have not done it yet, can you do it tonight? Give your agents introductory letters or appointment letters, which you will hand over to the presiding officer. My agent at this polling station is so and so, so and so. Give them these letters, which you will hand over to the presiding officer for purposes of identification. Please, unless an agent is committing a crime or suspected to be committing a crime, he or she should not be placed under arrest. Now, candidate Nalukola, I think I've talked about the last rally you are supposed to hold. How I wish you had brought that matter to our attention, would have, I'm sure, addressed it as a commission. Whatever happened to you, your property being confiscated, your people being arrested, as I said, I don't speak for security or Uganda Police Force. I think they are here. They can explain that as to why they should not hand back your vehicle. Maybe it is an exhibit, I don't know. I don't want to conjecture or guess as to why this episode befell you. Now, the issue of Namere, Pritiki, I only wish you had got a sample of this ballot paper. But you say you are not welcome, though you are visitors. And I think it is an African for us to handle our visitors in such a manner. But if you suspect that something wrong is being done in relation to the by-election, our numbers, we have raised the toll-free numbers. Can you raise us tomorrow? And why didn't you raise us? Why didn't you raise us as a commission? I saw Mr. Rwongo has missed a call, unfortunately, because I was in a meeting. When I tried to call back, he's not here. I tried to call back about 5 times. It was off. It was switched off. Maybe they had grabbed it also, I don't know. But it was off. We respond. We respond. But let's not try to be, let's not try to appear to be the ones who are enforcing some of these things. The enforcement. Now, the issue of reporting to police, again, they are here. I don't know whether the DPC Kawempe is here. Why did you not take action when it was reported to you that some suspected crime concerning elections was taking place at Namere and this Bombo Road led by Captain Chashoya? Why was no action taken? I think there was Kamia Kasos has been answered. Augustine, your people were arrested, yet they have been accredited? That's unfortunate. Had we issued them with accreditation tags already? And the issue of the ones you intended to replace being accredited instead, maybe the commissioner in charge of accreditation is here, Commissioner Simbwa. I think he will respond to that. You know, we are so organized. Everything has somebody responsible. Now, the person in charge of accreditations committee at the commission is Dr. Simbwa. Although I'm the chairman, he knows how he handles these things. He only briefs us that this is what has happened. We have received so many applications. We have accredited so many. Dr. Simba, I think he will talk about that, of the accreditation of the FDC people. What time are you supposed to grace? What time are you supposed to report to the Tally Center? At 7. As we say, the Tally Center will open at 7 in the morning. So be here. If you have been accredited to the Tally Center, please. 4 a.m. Oh, I'm being advised the Tally Center also opens at 4 a.m. p.m. Oh, p.m. Oh, sorry. The Tally Center opens at 4 p.m. It is only oil. You see, what is mixing up is the conference desk and the Tally Center. They are more or less the same. Okay? The venue is the same. But the Tally Center itself opens at 4 p.m. Why? That's when we expect the result to start coming in after polling. So 4 p.m., if you have been accredited to the Tally Center, please report at that hour. Farida, a candidate brings the DR form. Richard, can you come and respond to this? If a candidate is at the Tally Center and what the returning officer is reading is not in a sync or in a tandem with a particular DR form in the possession of the candidate, and when he raises the issue, the RO seems not to be bothered, what would happen? Joshua, why are election seasons and periods becoming a death trap for young people? Indeed, that's the $64,000 question. Why should our elections in Uganda be doused in bloodshed, broken limbs, damaged vehicles, and so on and so forth? Why? As a country, we need to interrogate that and ask ourselves, who commits these things? We are the ones.